Hi, everyone. Julie Roth-Novak, CEO and co-founder of PartySlate, back again. Hopefully you joined us for Mindy's amazing presentation. She's always so inspirational. I've learned so much from her over the past few years since we've been working together. I so appreciate her support of PartySlate since day one. She's just been an amazing leader for us, an amazing mentor, and thank you, Mindy. So I'm going to turn your attention from Mindy over to my favorite topic, digital marketing and social media. Many of you have joined our webinars over the last, I think, 35 weeks since the pandemic has started. I've gotten great feedback. I've really gotten a lot of great feedback on specifically some of our social media advice that we have for the industry. So today I'm going to focus on Instagram and LinkedIn and how you can build your brand through these two platforms. But we also have amazing recordings on Pinterest and other areas of social media. And I will lead you to that in the end, where you can find all those recordings. But today, since it was in high demand and I have a lot of questions about those two areas, that's what I'm going to focus on. So I'm going to share my screen. And I wanted to tell you that my social media team that knows more than I do, I just pretend I know everything, are going to be on the chat. And if you have questions, I'm going to go pretty quickly through the content because I have a lot to cover, but our team is happy to answer your questions in the chat. And also we're happy to send you the recording of this and other webinars that we've done on social media. So we do have a bunch of new people in this session. I know not everyone can join us the full 2 days. If you didn't join us for a kickoff, just a quick summary of PartySlate's founding story. I have over 20 years of digital marketing experience. I've worked with some of the biggest brands in the world before I started PartySlate, helping them build their website, social media, search, SEO. And I always was the one loving to plan the parties, whether it's recruiting parties or corporate events or my own wedding. And I always wondered why there wasn't a better resource. I liked Pinterest, but there was a lot of dead ends for event inspiration of all kinds, not just weddings, and then also the ability to contact local event professionals. About 8-9 years ago, I used a website called House for home remodeling. I don't know if anyone, they should give me a commission. I love House. And it really struck me that this is what I wanted for the events industry. And so I really set out to build the House for events. And I know many of you guys have given me a shout out. I love House. It's amazing. We're not trying to copy what House is doing, but take that amazing platform to share your work, build your brand, of course, grow your business, but also be a source of inspiration for people like me, even to this day, that loves to plan and host parties. And my first step was researching, what are these pain points? I knew what they were for me, but of course you can't build for a focus group of one. I really looked into how difficult and time consuming it is to plan a party on the party host side. I saw dead ends with Pinterest. I saw wedding only websites that didn't help me with my corporate events. And then I talked to hundreds of event professionals, and I found, yes, they might understand digital marketing, but they had very little time. Very difficult to keep your website up to date. And yes, Instagram is amazing, and we love Instagram. It's a great source of traffic to our website, but you can't tell your full story of your events. And more importantly, you can't connect yourselves as closely with your leading event professionals. And I've also learned that sometimes, not for photographers as much, but for some of you, it's hard to track and organize and publish your photos. So we wanted to make everything much easier. So what we did is we built a platform where consumers or party hosts could get inspired, find and connect with local event professionals, and where event companies, or what we call event professionals and venues, could really almost have digital marketing in a box, where you can create this beautiful SEO optimized profile page that you share your work, build your brand, but also have this built-in marketplace where you can drive qualified leads, mainly people that are looking to plan larger scale events where they can't do it themselves. And so that's what PartySlate is. So now I'm going to jump into my social media content. But before we start, even thinking about Instagram, LinkedIn, or any strategy, you need to really know what you want to do with digital marketing. What are your goals? Do you want to build your brand? Do you want to drive leads? Do you want to position yourself as a thought leader? Who do you want to reach? What are your competitors doing? Not saying you want to copy your competitors, but you can get inspiration of what you want or what you don't want. What's the tone of your brand? Some tone is very professional, some are sarcastic. What is your brand? Some are humorous. What types of content do you love? Do you feel passionate about? What are the platforms that you really want to invest in? You can't do everything. If you look at this image of your digital footprint, you really have to decide what are the 2 or 3 social media platforms, how much effort can go into my website, how much budget do I have, what third party platforms such as PartySlate and others are going to help you build your brand, and of course your SEO strategy and how you'll measure success. So you don't need a 20-page document. I do have a nice template if anyone's interested in this. A 1-page, 2-page document on what your digital marketing strategy is will really help you on everything that you want to do. And then you also, that's for your company. You also have to think about your personal brand. And in many cases, for small businesses, your personal brand is very connected to your company brand, but they can be different. So Party Slate has a brand, but I also have a brand. So my areas that I like to talk about and share content that I care about, I love digital education. As you know, many of you have sat in my webinars. It makes me really happy to help people. Many people have helped me with digital marketing. I really love connecting and helping female founders, both tech female founders and female founders in our industry. And then I also like being an event industry connector and speaker. So those are kind of my 3 areas that I share about. So really you want to think about what your 5 C's are. And I always say, write it down. Even if you think you know your strategy, just put, again, a 1-pager together on your personal brand. What do you care about? What does your company stand for? Who do you want to connect with? What content can you create? And what content can you curate? You don't have to be writing blogs every day for content creation. You can also be sharing thought leaders' content and really curating it for your audience. And so that's really important, especially as you think about LinkedIn, which I'm going to start with is it's really a personal branding. Yes, it's about your company, but LinkedIn really leans in on your personal brand. And so for LinkedIn today, I'm going to talk about how to optimize your profile page, how to build out your network, and then an action plan that's really simple and not overwhelming. For Instagram, I'm going to jump into, again, your profile, how you drive engagement, our Instagram strategy that hopefully you can learn from. We've had a lot of learnings over the last few years, and then an action plan. And then I'm going to summarize the 2. And again, we also have a presentation on Pinterest that I'm really proud of. Again, my team worked really hard on. We can also send you a recording of that. So let's start with LinkedIn. Again, any questions you have, I'm going to zoom through this content because we have a lot. Our team is happy to help you. I can also follow up with you afterwards. So number 1, most important thing is optimizing your LinkedIn profile page. And many of you say, well, isn't this just B2B? I don't need to be on LinkedIn. I'm telling you, LinkedIn is a search engine optimization. They're geniuses. And so when people Google you, we're a business of connections and people, buying from people. LinkedIn will likely be your first page result in Google. When they put Julie Roth Novak in, yes, I'm in a lot of articles, but LinkedIn is going to be very close to the top. So for that reason alone, you need to have a really good LinkedIn profile. So number 1, you should have a professional headshot. I think everyone needs to have a professional headshot. It makes, there's 14 times more views if you have a professional headshot or a headshot at all. Number 2, many people skip this. You should have a professional headline on your LinkedIn. So my professional headline is not the about section. It's just a snapshot of what I am. And so my professional headline is CEO and co-founder of PartySlate, helping event professionals build their brand, share their work, and grow their business. So you can decide what that is, but that headline is almost like your ad for should I look into this more and research this LinkedIn profile. Number 3 is the about section. This is also overlooked. Your about section should be written in first person. And this is your story to say who you are, but also a little bit about your business. It should be written in kind of a storytelling fashion. And it's a way, like, let's say you met someone in the elevator, you had 30, 40 seconds to tell a little bit about yourself. That's what should be included here. And again, it leans towards your business, but it doesn't mean you can't have personal things in there as well. The next thing is you can feature, or the platform will feature recent posts and links. So if you're not a content poster, which is okay, only about 1% of LinkedIn users actually share content, which is great for people like me that share a lot of content on LinkedIn, but at least try to do like 1 post a week or 1 post a month so you can show recent activity of things that you've posted. So it looks like a live living profile. Your experience, really, really important. Just you put your company descriptions and your experience, and you can go back as far as you want, or you can actually just show your last 3 jobs. It's really up to you, but people are going to look like, does this person know the industry? What is their experience? And it's important. Again, this isn't just for looking for jobs. This could be people looking to hire you and they want to know your background. Before I interview someone or meet with a reporter or anything, I'm always, always looking at their LinkedIn profile. Accomplishments are great, awards, affiliations, things like that. It just gives a full view of who you are. This does not take more than 1 hour to do. So everyone should put right now 1 hour in your calendar to update your LinkedIn profile. It could even take you a half an hour. I can't tell you how important this is. People are looking at this page. Maybe this isn't your number one platform, doesn't matter. When they search your name, LinkedIn will be page one, likely. Number 2 on LinkedIn, I get really excited about this category. It is an amazing digital network. If you are, I hate to call it, I joke about it, a LinkedIn loser, that means you have less than 500 contacts, because I know how connected this industry is. I challenge you, within a week or two, you can get more than 500 contacts. And the easiest way to do that is to go into this network building section. So click on my network, you can get to the people filters and put second connection, not first connection. Those are people you're already connected to. You can screen it for your area, Chicago. You can screen it for area. You can say, hey, anyone that has the word event in their title. You are going to find so many people that you can connect with. You'll find hundreds of people, and you can just start making those connections. You can write a little note to them, or you can just press connect. I accept all LinkedIn invitations. It's my strategy because I use it for publishing. So the way I look at it is, the more people I'm connected to, the more people that will see my post. You may choose to only connect with people you like, and that's fine. But whichever way, you should be able to get to more than 500 contacts within a very, very short time period, considering how connected you are from past jobs, neighbors, friends, colleagues, charity work you do. It should not take you that long. When you post content, and posting content is very, very similar to the old days of Facebook, very easy to post content. It's not just for people looking for jobs. I'm emphasizing that. Think about engaging stories that you can post, such as something that's relatable, a lesson learned, thought provokers, open-ended questions. Consider posting a native article. So it's actually like they have a blog creation tool on LinkedIn. Only 1% of people post on LinkedIn. And that, again, you'd say that's pretty low. Most people, like Instagram, it's much, much higher. But that means that your posts are going to be seen by so many more people, especially if you tag people and you put some relevant content. It's a great, great opportunity to get organic views on LinkedIn. So just try it out. You don't have to post every day. Try to post once a week, one a week. You can even post, if you're put a new event on PartySlate, you could post something about social distance events and what you've learned about it. It's very, very easy. So I challenge you to just try posting on LinkedIn. It doesn't need to be like Instagram, where you're, every day, twice a day working on it. Next, leverage the power of endorsements and recommendations. When you have endorsements and recommendations, your profile engagement is going to be a lot higher. It's very easy to endorse other people that you've worked with and ask them to endorse you. And also recommendations, I challenge you to get 2 or 3 recommendations on LinkedIn. PartySlate just launched testimonial features from our premium profiles, and we have something like 70 or 80% have put up testimonials on their profile page. And it's crazy, crazy how much people are looking for that third party endorsement. And LinkedIn is a great way and an easy way to get them. The last thing is extra credit on LinkedIn. So if I haven't overwhelmed you already, start with your profile page, do a little trial and error with posting. But creating a group or joining a group, they've invested a lot in their group technology at LinkedIn. There's tons and tons of event professional groups. Sometimes when they're so large, it may not be as useful. So for event planning and event management, there's over 387,000 people, and that could be corporate event planners as well. But maybe there's a smaller group if you're involved with ILEA, if you're involved with other associations, or if you want to create a really small group of 20 or 30 people and you don't want to use Facebook, LinkedIn is another great way to create a group, and it's very, very easy to use, and of course it's free. So LinkedIn, I believe it is an underutilized platform. I get a lot of engagement on my posts, and I also feel like different audiences are being reached here. So the three things for your action plan, if you only do one thing, optimize your LinkedIn profile page first. Put 30 minutes, an hour on your calendar. Again, I'm total geek. If you want me to look through your profile page, I'm Julie at PartySlate.com. I am happy to review it for you. I probably reviewed about 100 LinkedIn profiles, and I love doing it, and I want to help. And my goal is to get this industry to be better digital marketers, and this is one way you can do it. Number two, make strategic connections and build your brand. So, go through the network, at least try to get to 500. It's really, really easy. And it's just a nice relationship builder that you can do on LinkedIn. These are people you already know. This is not spamming people. These are people you know. And then really focus on growing your network on LinkedIn. So the engagement you can give, comment on other people's posts, make sure that you're crediting people. If it's something, a beautiful event that you're posting, and credit those companies same way you do on Instagram. And the really great thing is, if you don't have time to do a blog entry and you want to share that, if you just posted a beautiful new event on your Party Slate profile, you could actually just write a couple sentences about that and post a link to your Party Slate profile. So just think about how you can create content around content you already have if you don't have the time. So that's LinkedIn. Now I'm going to turn to Instagram. And again, I know I've seen a few questions in the chat. My team is on it, and we're going to get to you hopefully through the chat. And if not, happy to jump on a follow-up and actually send you the recording. Let's talk about Instagram. We've already done two webinars on Instagram. So this is just a summary of a lot of things we've shared. We got really positive feedback on that. Let's think about Instagram. It's like the LinkedIn best practices, but it's really more photo focused, as you guys know. So for Instagram, when you think about your bio and your profile, you really want to make sure, number one, your Instagram handle is very, very easy for people to find and to identify. So not to pick on Four Seasons Val, because it's one of my favorite priorities, but their Instagram handle, FS Val, may be harder for people to find than Four Seasons Val. So think about when you're tagging people on Instagram and you're like, oh, is that their handle? I'm not sure. Even if it's longer, you want to make sure that it's a very easy to identify handle on Instagram. Number two, you want to make sure your logo is easy to see. It's professional. You can also use your profile pic and for your business. It's up to you to decide. Then you want to make sure you have a strong handshake. So it can be pretty short, 150 characters, but make sure they know who you are. If you're a San Diego wedding planner, you want to make sure, even if you say something cute about your business, that you say San Diego wedding planner in your description so they know who you are. And then your highlight bubbles, you can just choose like types of events like weddings, bar mitzvahs, galas, fundraisers. If you're a destination planner, Santorini, Florence, whatever. So you need to think through what makes the most sense. Almost think about those as sub areas of your company. What are the biggest pieces of information that you want to communicate? And that's what you can use with your highlight bubbles. And then finally, like your link in bio, I'm going to talk about that a little later. If you post a lot of content, you can just drive people to your website. But if you post a lot of content and specific information, you may want to consider a link tree type solution for your link in your bio. Number two, I know I'm talking fast, but number two, choose images that lead to high engagement. And I know that's the obvious thing, but how do you know which photos to choose? Well, first of all, you should look at your high engagement posts you've made in the past and what's consistent about those posts. We have found that telling a story with your post, light, bright, and kind of unique photos that have more than one thing that you can engage with are the highest likes. We do think people photos do well, so don't just put decor photos. People photos are very important. People like to see a real event, not just a kind of a sterile environment. And then really with COVID-19, you really need to think about, if it's a larger event, almost making it a callback to before the pandemic, like, oh, we remember XYZ. And if it's a social distance event, you really want to call out those social distance features, especially now when it's very charged. Hashtag strategies. I know tomorrow I'm going to be doing a content SEO presentation over lunch, but hashtag strategy you should think about is almost like your SEO for Instagram. So you can use up to 30 hashtags. We put our hashtags in our first comment, so it doesn't make our post look messy and really long. And you're really going to want to start thinking about, yes, you want the hashtags that are very popular, but the ones that are so popular, like hashtag wedding, it's unlikely that you're going to really get found in so many people that are hashtagging wedding. So I would much rather see hashtag San Diego wedding, hashtag, Napa Valley wedding, corporate event, whatever it is, think through what those words are that people might be searching for. I personally think if you're just going to do generic hashtags that aren't really meaningful or connected, I would do less. I would do less, more relevant hashtags rather than just kind of hashtag spamming and just putting a bunch of terms that you hope will find or fit with what someone's looking for. So I think hashtag strategy is as important as keyword strategy. So really, really think through what hashtags make sense for your business, but also for the photo that you are posting. Number 4, Instagram. Think differently. And I know you guys know this. This is a repeat for many about your Instagram stories, but don't forget your Instagram feed. The two work hand in hand. For your Instagram feed, I would consider posting at least a few times a week. The photos, again, you can really think through what are the ideal photos. Don't forget that quality is very, very important on your feed. It's almost a kind of representation of your brand and of your company. And don't forget the stories, the captions really need to go with the photo. And so I sometimes compare it to, like, let's say you did an amazing event and you're showing someone on your phone, but then you don't say anything, you just hold up the picture. What is it you want to say about that photo? What story do you want to tell? And again, connect it back to your branding and your tone and everything else. Tag partners not only in your post, but also in the photo. That way that you get a double relationship builder. Number one, they'll see, oh, thank you for crediting me. That's great. And it's really important, as you know. But the photo tagging also pushes that photo, similar to our crediting on PartySlate, out to their feeds. And it's another way to connect and have more people see your photos. So I know there isn't a perfect formula for picking out the right photos, but when you're thinking about your feed, it tends to be more buttoned up and more professional versus stories that can be a little bit more fun. We still love using the professional photos, but you can get away with Instagram stories with doing behind the scenes or a little bit less of the professional shine that you have on your feed. So for your stories, everyone asks me how often should you do it? The more, the better, but 2 to 3 times a week or daily if you can is great. Vertical images are obviously much better. And I do sometimes see people doing like 20, 30 frames. They're very excited about something. Just know that there's a big drop off of watching after 7 frames. So you may not get your best investment by putting 30. You're at a conference or you're somewhere that really an event you're really excited about. I think 7 or 8 is really, really the max that you really should do. 85% of people watch videos without sound. So know that the words over your posts are really important because sometimes people are not listening to things. So you have to keep that in mind. And then also don't forget to tag for additional engagement. If you have more than 10,000 followers, the swipe up is really important, or link in bio to get more engagement. I don't do this enough, but I love it. Sometimes our team does polls, and I've seen a lot of you do that too, to drive engagement. And then you get to see how people responded. And it's just another, don't overdo it with polls, but I think it's a fun way to drive engagement. The most important thing on Instagram is conversation or engagement. So we always, when people comment on our post, our social team is always responding and always, thanking people and, kind of continuing the conversation. It's really important when people like or engage or post on something you posted to either, heart it, like that you saw it, or write a little comment back. I think the 2 or 3 seconds it takes to write something versus just the heart is worth the investment. Because I know how I feel when I post something and I get comments. It's kind of like a little like, oh, they saw it, or oh, I missed that person, or it's just a nice way to drive engagement. Definitely, this crediting is so important, especially during this challenging, unprecedented time when we can't be together. I know how important professional relationships are, even relationships with your clients that you're tagging in these events. Really making sure that you're doing the crediting and doing it right, and really driving that engagement. I think it's one of the next best things to being together is kind of a nod to how great your working relationship is and how special this event was. And I just think I know how you refer business to each other, but also to your clients. I think the tagging is a really effective way if they allow you to post. And if they want you to post, you know your clients better than I do. It's a great, great way to build relationships. Many of you asked me, I got a question earlier about link in Biotoal. It doesn't really matter which tool you use. And if you don't have the time or the expertise to actually have one of these tools, that's okay. You can link them back to your website, which is fine. I think some are cheap or some are even free to use. It doesn't, we like using the photo link because we want to link back to your profile pages on Party Slate. So the first one for us is, if they see something they like and they want to link back to it, we use a photo link, a link tree. Kehoe Designs and others have more of like 7 or 8 key links that they can go to from their link in bio. So it's really up to you, but they're really easy to use. And a lot of them, are, if not free, are just a few dollars a month. So Linktree, link bio and link my photos are just 3, but there's 6, 7, 8 that are very popular. And again, if you have any questions, my social media team knows more than I can. I can connect you with them. I had an amazing webinar with Gertie, one of our favorite event planners in New York and Miami, about inclusivity and diversity on Instagram. I know everyone knows this, it's especially timely now with the Black Lives Matter movement to really make sure you're thinking about really representing all types of photos and couples and credits and types of events and traditions. And so for Party Slate, we've really number one, put a spotlight on Black-owned businesses, and we're going to continue to do that for different types of underrepresented founders or companies, but really think through ethnicities, LGBTQ+, cultures, religions, and more. An interesting study by Accenture said that 70% of millennials are more likely to choose one brand over another if that brand demonstrates inclusion and diversity. So it's something really personally important to me, but I think it's also important for your business. So a couple of examples, of course, please follow us if you're not already at Party Slate. That's my little ad for our Instagram, which we love so much. Some examples that we've used that have been very, very high engagement are here. And you can see typically the posts that do the best have, again, 2 or 3 different things you can react to, and 2 or 3 different things that would make someone want to engage, whether it's like the really create, beach ball entrance here, or, stunning ceiling decor, or a beautiful wedding arch with the ocean in the back. We're really looking for ways that people can get inspired, but also want to learn more. So in our posts, we always say you can see 45 more photos on Party Slate. So it's always saying like, this is a sneak peek of this event. And if you want to see the full event, you can go to your page on the Party Slate, on your Party Slate profile. Here's another event inspiration, using content for event inspiration. I know the balloon installations are still very, very popular, especially during the pandemic when smaller events are more popular. People really want that Instagrammable moment, and so creative and an amazing way to really up level the party. We found that those have been doing very well. So really think through how you can inspire and drive people to engage with your business. And really one thing that I'm always surprised at is sometimes our detail shots are the most engaged with. And so although I love the big room shot, giving you the bigger picture, this photo here with a little teeny chair and an appetizer on each was just crazy inspired with. And then you can see the table, the escort table with showing different bouquets of flowers under flower arrangements under each. A lucite was just, again, wildly successful. And then the last poolside party, one of my favorite events, just keeps getting more and more engagement. So when you see these photos that speak to people in some way, maybe they're like, oh, I wish I could have an event like that. Those are the ones. Don't be afraid to actually reuse and recycle those, not back to back, but over time, maybe take a different shot from that event. But again, really smart copy along with a photo is the best way to drive engagement, and don't leave out the details. Instagram story examples. Again, when we write articles about our members, we are constantly pushing them out to social media, so we get that additional boost of engagement. So just putting the title, let's say you're writing a blog entry, and then swipe up to read it. That's been very successful in Instagram stories. And then our goal on Instagram with Party Slates is to really drive brand awareness of Party Slate, drive traffic to our website, and also promote our partners and premium members that, to be honest, keep the bills on and to allow us to continue as a business. Those are our main goals. At the end of the day, we use Instagram as a brand builder for Party Slate, that this is the best place to get inspired for your larger scale event and the best place to find the local event professionals and venues. Okay, driving traffic. For Party Slate, our biggest KPI, our biggest metric is how much traffic goes from Instagram to Party Slate. And so what we found is we put a strong caption together. We have a strong photo that people react to, and then we have something link in bio to see the full story. And I mentioned that before. So then they can go from this little snapshot. This is I'm soy into you. Again, we did not predict this would do so well. It did really well. They liked the tagline there. They liked the bar with the water in the background. And then we drove them right into the full event on Party Slate. How we find the best content, I think people ask us, well, how do you decide what you want to put? And I know Kylie's mentioning I'm almost out of time, so I'm going to keep going with a couple more slides, and then I promise you we're going to take questions in the chat, and then I can follow up with you afterwards if we have not answered your question. How to find that we find the best content is we pull from Party Slate profiles. So I'm showing the Four Seasons Beverly Hills profile right now. I think they just added 4 or 5 new events. Our editorial sees every new event that you upload, or if you have our white glove service, our team uploads for you. And they're looking for things that will engage and drive awareness of Party Slate on Instagram. And so what they look for is creative, never seen before event ideas. That always helps if you have an event description so that we know what it is that we're looking at. Things that are behind the scenes or well written, you can in Party Slate profile, you can write, as long as you want, a little bit of story behind the event. So that helps our team, to be honest, save a little time because we know what it is. We only put stuff on Instagram that has full event partner credit. So if there's just 2 or 3 credits, we rarely pick that because we want full credits. We've learned early on that we want to over credit. We want to make sure that the 5 or 8 key event partners are listed. And then we also are looking for relevant kind of pop culture events, of course, like amazing social distance events we've been looking for. We write articles about it. So your profile page is a way to submit content. And we also have, editorial at partyslate.com. If you want to submit something that you've put in your profile page, you can always email them. And then we also have a link to fill out a form to get submitted to our editorial, which I can share later. So again, this is the best way to get published on Party Slate is to put your content on your Party Slate profile with an event description and your credits. Okay, so I'm going to wrap up. Your Instagram action plan. And again, I'm happy to share this with you after. Number 1, you need an Instagram strategy, a 1-pager and I have a template that we can send to you on really thinking through what your strategy is. What are your goals with Instagram? Who is your audience? What's your tone? What's your hashtag strategy? Number 2, you need a content plan. You need to create a high-level content calendar or simple guide. Again, don't be overwhelmed by the word content calendar. It can be a Google sheet with like January, February, March, and things you want to share. Decide if you need a scheduling platform. We do use scheduling platforms. If you don't need it, that's okay too, but you need to have some sort of content plan. And then this is one of my passion points. Organize your photos and videos. You need to know where all your photos are so that when you need them for Instagram or Pinterest or whatever, you have them organized in a way that not only you can find them, but that intern that's helping you or your marketing team, or even if Party Slate's helping you, you have access to your content so you can post on your profile page and post other places to build your brand. And then number 3, It's really time, once you have your content plan and your Instagram strategy, to really execute and engage. Update your bio, make sure that you start posting on a regular basis. And if you are posting, really think about some of these best practices that I just share, and then measure, 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 see how your followers are growing, see how your engagement is growing. And again, this is not meant to be your end all be all channel, but it is, we know it's an important channel that people use to research and stock their potential event partners. So I talked about LinkedIn, which I think is under leveraged as an industry. We talked about Instagram. A quick summary: LinkedIn, make sure you optimize your profile page. Again, Google yourself, see what comes on your first page, your name and your company, likely LinkedIn. Put your toe in the water of sharing news, thought leadership, insights, trends. LinkedIn is less visual than Instagram, but you can create compelling content on LinkedIn. And then build your network. Again, you don't want to be a LinkedIn loser, not a bad way. You just want more than 500 contacts, because that gets you to the next level of credibility on LinkedIn. For Instagram, really think about your content strategy, like, what your personal brand, your company's brand, what you want to build. Showcase your best work and do a combination of further back room shots, but also those details that sometimes overperform in many cases. It's a visual platform, but don't forget, just like that story, like when you're showing someone a really amazing picture, you have words that go along with it. So don't underestimate the importance of that post and how their post really amplifies and tells the story of what you're posting. And then really, really work to build your relationships through commenting and crediting on Instagram. So those are the two that I chose to focus on today. How we can help: number one, happy to review jump on a call and review your Instagram profile and your feed and give you feedback. Number two, again, Julie at PartySlate.com. You might say, how do you have time to do this? It takes me about 3 minutes to review your profile. I feel good that I'm helping the industry. And to be honest, I think it helps build PartySlate's brand, that we want to help this industry get back on your feet. Happy to review your website, many, many different topics on website best practices. And of course, on your PartySlate profile, we will be happy to look at that as well and pull together our thoughts and how you can improve that. Tools we do have an Instagram strategy template. Again, reach out to us if you'd like that. It's nothing fancy. It's not overwhelming. It's just a simple Google Sheet or Excel doc that can get you started thinking about putting together an Instagram strategy. So I'm going to give you a little break before our next session. I love doing digital marketing education. I specifically for social media. TikTok's important. We're getting our toe in the water with TikTok. You need to know TikTok. Don't underestimate Facebook, Pinterest as well. But I feel if you could pick two that you could, pretty quickly, get some optimizations on, I think LinkedIn and Instagram are good places to start, not to minimize your other channels. So next up, and I know we didn't get to all your questions, but our team hopefully has been helping along the way because I had to move pretty quickly. We are going to have a rock star panel on wowing your guests with new cocktail and catering trends for 2021. Constellation Culinary Group from New York. We love, love, love them. They have one of the most amazing group of leaders that I've ever worked with. We love, love the work they're doing. Good Gracious, many Pauline Perry. Hi, Pauline, love you. Good Gracious Events and Deja Vu Sweets out of Miami. They are so creative. Their Instagram is insane. And I'm really, really excited for this upcoming panel. So thank you guys so much. Take a little lunch break. Don't go anywhere. Come back for this amazing panel. And thank you so much for listening to our social media best practices for Instagram and LinkedIn. Thanks, everyone.